Good morning, and happy Sunday from the farm. Welcome to another episode of Thinking Outside the Soil, where I get to talk story about topics related to the farmers and ranchers using hydroponic practices to grow the crops and creatures we need to eat. I am your host, Sean Short. Thank you for being with us on this beautiful morning. I have been up for a bit, doing a little bit of work for you. We have begun to build out a membership group for those doing hydroponic fodder. So I took the time to make a brief tutorial video. I've had a lot of people ask me, hey Sean, does it really take you only 15-30 minutes to do what you do? So I made a video for you out there to see. Yes, I do take only that long to do it, and I was able to talk to the camera and do the same thing. So I have also made a special video just for listeners out there. If you go to thinkingoutsidethesoil.com/sprouting, I made a how-to video that is a small scale example of how to do barley, and you can take that and try to extrapolate that to your operation or to whatever it is that you do. You can try to use it and model it to find some success with sprouts. And if you have any questions in that process, it's a good opportunity to let me know what they are there. Today, I wanted to talk more about the things that have become popular as of late. The most popular episode so far has been about hydroponic alfalfa. So I thought it would be great to go a bit more into this hydroponic crop for us today. When I first got into sprouting, my first crops were alfalfa and clover, and I was selling it to everyone and everything that I could at the time. And so when I started feeding it to the chickens, my co-founder here at Blooming Health Farms, Ryan Smith, started calling me Seany Alfalfaseed. I love that name. I've embraced it as much as I could, and I made my Instagram handle Seany Alfalfaseed. So if you head on over there, give me a follow if you like this show so far or have liked anything else in the past. Go ahead, hit the subscribe or the notification, and you can hear more of me in the mornings. In a previous episode, I began the conversations about the ABCDs of hydroponic fodder by starting with alfalfa. And I joked, it's that little rascal of a legume that's pretty much in charge of the livestock industry. And it's because it's one of the most palatable and nutritious feedstocks that we know of. There's reason why it was first domesticated on the steppes of the Turkish lands and why we still use it today. Listen in to the episode on hydroponic alfalfa for some more of that early history. And in that episode, I cited data about some Jordanian researchers that were getting incredible yields with hydroponic alfalfa. They were taking those results and giving it to farmers, and they saw 87 tons of fresh matter alfalfa per acre based on an 8-day growing cycle. And when they dried that, they got about 7 tons of dry matter per acre. So 7 tons of alfalfa per acre. I also cited in that episode data from the USDA cites that field-grown alfalfa gets an average of 3 tons per acre. Most farmers do the 3 or 4 cut method, meaning every 35 to 45 days they can get a 3-ton harvest of alfalfa. So that's about 9 to 15 tons for the average growing season. I like to talk about comparisons. And in my book, Thinking Outside the Soil, I elaborate this on a little bit more, but for simplicity's sake, let's just assume that alfalfa takes 40 days before it's cut, and you get the average yield of 4 cuttings. So over a 120-day growing cycle, a field farmer will get 12 tons. Let's compare that to a hydroponic farmer growing hydroponically. They can grow 105 tons in that same time. Now, the hydroponic farmer can also grow that alfalfa all year long. So if we continue to assume the same 8-day growing cycle with the yields researchers and farmers saw in the arid Middle East, in that case, hydroponic farmers can get 45 harvests for an estimated 315 tons. Now, if we assume about a 10% loss rate, which we normally do, that's just shy of 300 tons. It's incredible. Those same researchers also looked at how much water that alfalfa uses when they grow those under those 2 different conditions. So alfalfa uses about 3,300 gallons of water, or 3,300 gallons of water, to produce 1 ton of hydroponic green fodder. And companies like Hydrogreen and Fodder Tech have optimized this alfalfa grow out with as little as 400 gallons of water per ton. 400 gallons of water per ton. So field alfalfa uses about 18,000 gallons of water to get 1 ton of dry matter. And if we use the USDA average of 3 tons, that's about 55,000 gallons of water per cutting, and just north of 200,000 gallons of water for that 120-day growing season. It's a lot of water and a huge difference. Now, the US and many other places in the world are experiencing severe shortages in water supply due to repeated droughts. Our natural water resources are affected by the global climate changes, and many regions, like here in Colorado, have less rainfall, and our changing temperatures are causing our grasslands and our rangelands to deteriorate. These deteriorated grasslands are killing our yields and causing huge negative impacts on grazing lands and farmlands. Fields used for alfalfa pasturing and for alfalfa hay. Over the past years, we've literally been flooded with news about farmers who face drought. Drought poses so many different challenges for sustainable farmers and all farmers in general. But in dry places in the world, farmers have depleted the groundwater supplies, and some of them rely on imported water. We can see sinkholes like those in California, where it shows that man has sucked out all of the water. People there turn on their taps and nothing happens. This word drought will haunt farmers for years to come. So those of us living without water already know these horrors. Yet, drought implies something temporary. You know, in my 37 years here, I've yet to see the drought disappear. We have a better term for that. We call it a desert. And it's funny, not funny haha, but many people here already refer to the West as a desert. Popular media programs like Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, National Public Radio, Fox News, and Vice News have all featured full-length stories about drought. Even here in our local paper, we're inundated with these stories of farmers going out of business and having to cull their herds and kill their birds. They almost all share these struggles. And then they go on to highlight how water use efficiency has improved over time thanks to these advances in sprinkler technologies, collaboration to create new resource policies, and farmer cooperation to better use that water. But I contend we cannot mend this old model with a band-aid solution. Farmers need practices that improve crop yields with way less water. Methods and technologies to improve water use efficiency and productivity are essential. But thankfully, there's popular interest in hydroponic fodder production. The farmers here growing hydroponically in the American West use over 90% less water and space than the same crops grown in the field to get the same yields. We're using less water and we're actually getting a lot more on a lot less land. That's a win-win for everyone. I think in business we like to call that the triple bottom line: people, planet, and profit. But that's all I have for you today on a Sunday. As always, I love to hear and read what you think and want to see, so thank you. Keep sending those my way. If you've enjoyed this episode or any of the other previous episodes, please do follow the show. You can find me on Spotify, Apple, iHeart, and on Audible right now. My favorites are Apple and Audible, so you'll likely catch me there first. As I mentioned, for those of you on the show, we have a special video, so go to thinkingoutsidethesoil.com/sprouting. Check out that video, let me know. And on thinkingoutsidethesoil.com, you can get a free copy of my book. All I need is your address, and if you guys take care of the shipping costs, I will rush you a book within a week. So don't forget to follow the show, get that book, watch the video, so you don't miss out on becoming part of the next agricultural revolution. Thank you for being with us. Take care and have a lovely day. Hey, before you go, check out the links below. Leave me a rating and review and follow the show. Don't forget to get yourself some of our Blooming Health blended sprouting mix. Our mix has been shown to get the best eggs and create the healthiest flocks. With feed costs going up, right now's the time to lock in a subscription so that you can get the best eggs without having to go to the grocery store or the feed store anymore. Check out the links below to get yourself some Blooming Health blended sprouting mix.